Good evening, all of you. It's our great pleasure and privilege to have all of you with us at the inauguration ceremony of the 90th annual meeting of the Society of Biological Chemists, India chapter, hosted by Amity University, Haryana. The theme for this year's meeting is Metabolism to Drug Discovery, where chemistry and biology unite. I request Professor Rajendra Prasad, Director, Amity Institute of Biotechnology and Amity Institute of Integrative Sciences and Health, Amity University, Haryana, and the current President, SBCI, to welcome everyone to the 90th SBCI annual meeting held on the virtual platform and to raise the curtain for the meeting to formally get started. Please, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is my privilege to welcome you all to 90th SBCI annual meeting, hosted virtually by Amity University, Haryana here. The SBCI annual meetings are held each year in different geographical landscape of our country. The most heartening thing of organizing SBC meeting has been in finding regular volunteers who come forward to host such meetings. The Amity University Haryana has volunteered to host actually the 89th annual meeting of 2020 and had planned that way and wished that all of you would be physically able to visit and experience our 110-acre lush green campus amidst the Aravalli Hills at Manesar. Unfortunately, last year's pandemic changed everything. Hence, a mini 89th annual meeting was co-hosted along with Coastal Karnataka chapter annual meeting, organized by our friend Professor K. Satyamurthy. Only award lectures could be then organized in that meeting. Unfortunately, this year also, 2021 is no different. And hence, we have resorted to have this virtual platform meeting, though we wished to have it physical, that you would all be physically visiting our campus. Your experience of next 3 days will tell if we have been successful in our experiment in holding this kind of virtual platform experiment. We have created this platform to give you a real-time experience of our campus. All the images you will see in the platform are from our campus only, so you'll be visiting and experiencing our campus, though virtually. Each year, the theme of the meeting has always been different, that enables to cover not only recent discoveries, but also highlights biological research being pursued in that area. This year's theme of the meeting, as mentioned by Ojani, the Metabolism to Drug Discovery, where chemistry and biology unite. The scientific program of this meeting of next 3 days is very packed. We have close to 80 invited talks delivered by mostly young researchers invited from across the country, have 4 plenary talks and 3 SBCI award lectures. We have about 260 registered participants and 103 poster presentations. We have planned poster session in such a way where one could directly interact virtually with each poster presenter. Once again, I welcome you all to this 90th SBCI meeting and wish you all a very exciting next 3 days of good science. Thank you very much. Jenny?
Can we have the curtain raiser, please?
Kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah Shatru buddhi vinashaya Deepajyotirnamostute Deepajyotirnamostute Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah Shubham kurutvam kalyanam arogyam dhanasampadah
video showed that the curtains are raised and we can get started now. So I welcome you all again, and we'll start with by requesting our upcoming President-elect SBCI, Professor D.N. Rao, to say a few words now. He was a professor in Department of Biochemistry, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, retired in 2020, and presently he's the convener of the Talent Development Center and an advisor at the Chalakiyar campus, which is IISc's second campus, around 230 kilometers from the Bangalore campus. So Professor D.N. Rao, please share with us a few words.
You're muted.
Thank you, Jenny, for this very kind words. And it's a privilege to be part of this society, and more so as the President-elect. I just thought I'll mention a few things that the society has been doing. As the SBC is just over 90 years, and all of us here should ensure that it crosses the century mark. It's one of the oldest professional societies in the country, and we all should be proud of being a member of the SBC. I come from the Department of Biochemistry at the Institute of Science in Bangalore, which just celebrated its 100 years from 1921 to 2021. And the SBC, which started in 1930, for most part of its 90 years of existence, was in IISc, and the headquarters of the SBC has practically been located in the IISc campus since 1930. The past 20 months have brought immense challenges to even academic institutions and communities. During the pandemic, institutions made difficult choices related to the safety, the student engagement, and maintaining enrollment. Most of the institutions opted to go completely virtual and avoided in-person teaching. And more recently, many have navigated a hybrid of the two. Teaching platforms, online conferences, online meetings, but are still the new normal. Even our own SBC executive meetings have been done online. And now that the effective vaccines are readily available, we may be turning a corner on the pandemic, and more teachers and students will be able to return in-person classes soon. Teachers and students are excited to return to the classroom for many reasons. I, for one, and many others, traveling to conferences, meeting other scientists, interacting with young researchers, and in general, the camaraderie with the fellow scientists are some of the things that one missed during the pandemic, and I'm sure several of us have missed the physical annual meetings of the SBC. During the last 20 months, SBC did organize annual meeting through a virtual sense, but the meeting was very well organized and there was an overwhelming enthusiastic response. Even the present one being held in Amity under the aegis of RP, one can see the fantastic response from researchers at all levels and from all over the country. Hopefully the next one will all meet in person. I have only one thing to say as a message for this audience here. For science to be sustainable, all entities involved in scientific enterprise must be able to recruit, train, and retain scientists who can adapt to the evolving needs of the scientific force and society, like a research enterprise that I meant. Scientists working in academic and industry labs have all made valuable contributions in our country to fight against the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic. New success stories from our own country include indigenously developed home-based testing kits, oxygen concentrators, Swadeshi vaccines, and so on. And therefore, I think to thrive in their future careers, trainees need to learn both technical and professional skills, from experimental design to written and verbal communication to specific scientific techniques to work in diverse teams. And I think this vision underlines many of the society's activities. However, much remains to be done, but we hope that as a society, the SBC will work to develop high-quality career and professional development at our own institutions. I'm hoping let me conclude that hoping in 2022 and beyond, the society will grow in numbers, serve the community in different ways, and help enrich professional skills for every young researcher. So welcome to this society, the 90th annual meeting of this society. And as you see from the program, some very nice talks have been lined up, and I'm sure all of us will enjoy listening to some excellent science that is being done in this country. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. I hope the 2022 SBCI, the 91st SBCI, we can all meet in person. And thanks once again. So now I invite Professor Rajendra Prasad to give us a glimpse of the scientific, technological, and engineering research and innovation excellence at Amity University, Haryana. Over to you, sir. Sir, you're muted.
Can I share the screen? Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Okay, welcome again to this very distinguished meeting. Our distinguished chief guest, Dr. Shekhar Monde, and guest of honor, Dr. Ram Vishwakarma, Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chawan, Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Ashok Chawan, who will be joining very soon, our respected Vice Chancellor, Professor PB Sharma, and Madam Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Padma Kali Banerjee, SBCI President-Elect, Professor D.N. Rao, and other dignitaries, delegates, and students. Once again, I offer my welcome to you all virtually to our campus for participating in this inaugural program of 19th SBCI meeting. I am privileged to share the recent highlights of the hosting institute, that is Amity Institute of Biotechnology and Amity Institute of Integrative Sciences and Health, and also share a snapshot of recent achievements in next few minutes, which I have. Before that, I would briefly like to share some key information about the Amity Education Group, which presently comprised of 11 campuses across the country and several campuses around the globe, such as in London, Singapore, Dubai, USA, Mauritius, South Africa, and China, just to name a few. In Amity campuses, close to 2 lakh students are presently studying in 300 programs at 150 institutions, well supported by 6,000 very talented faculties. In physical terms, Amity Education Group has 1,200 acres of campuses put together with nearly 10 million square feet of well-maintained air-conditioned building as part of campuses. Amity University Haryana is one such campuses, which is the host of present 90th SBCI meeting. I have to change. Amity Education Group is led by our visionary leader, Dr. Ashok Chawan, who is the founder president of RBF Foundation. It is his unparalleled vision to make Amity universities in India a strong pillar of strength for innovation and state-of-art R&D infrastructure. Dr. Chawan is in true sense an institutional builder, nurturing the institution with an unparalleled junoon. Our visionary founder has given a mission, what he calls B4, bring bright and brilliant brains to Amity and engage them to contribute to science and technology mission-oriented R&D and translational research. The dream of Amity Education Group is well supported by our great visionary Chancellor, Dr. Ashok Chawan, who is also the CEO of Amity Innovation Incubator and Amity Capital Ventures. He dreams big, and we at Amity University Haryana work 24/7 to fulfill his goal. He provides full academic freedom and unparalleled security and nurturing with great human touch. With his support, we have been able to create a robust infrastructure for doing cutting-edge research on our campus. Amity University of Biotechnology started in 2010, and subsequently, after 5 years, to promote interdisciplinary research, Amity Institute of Integrative Sciences and Health was founded. Together, these institutes run UG and PG programs and PhD programs, supported by 30 well-talented faculty members. We have about 100 PhD research students in the institute. Our recently started MSc in data science has been doing very well, and in fact, wherein our graduates start getting placements offer even before they could finish the program. Our teaching program has been well supported by flagship grants from government funding bodies. For instance, we are recognized by DBT PG program, MSc Biotechnology, Gate B, where we get the students from national test conducted at the present by RCV. We also have PG Diploma in Quality Control Analysis and Instrumentation, Life Science Sector Skill Development Council approved program. We also have DBT Skill Vigyan program under State Partnership of Life Science and Biotechnology. So these programs will support our teaching programs which we offer. We have a robust infrastructure that have what we call a central instrument facility. For doing cutting-edge biological research. This facility, together with houses the most modern equipment, here it is open to all, 24/7 basis, maintained by well-trained technicians, and in fact, it is also open to outside users, which of course can all use by paying some users charges that we all of us has to pay. We also have very distinguished design labs, which have modern labs, which works on American model. Our one need to generate EMR funds or grants to make use of such nice labs, which we call it as hot space. It literally means no funds and no such labs. We have been able to attract core grants for building infrastructure from various funding agencies, such as our FIST program. We have got a FIST grant under which we have established a lipidomic facility, which I will mention you again. We have secured a DBT Builder grant for building infrastructure for research. And we have recently made a request and application to FIRST grant for DST, and hopefully we might be able to successful on that also. We are well supported by research grants on an individual basis from most of these funding agencies, such as DBT, DST, ISMR, IUS, PRNS, etc. And apart from that, so we have many grants running in parallel with individual faculty. In addition, we have got quite a few consortia projects involving, say, DBT Northeast program, some ICMR consortia projects, in addition to international collaborative grants. So in recent years, because of our robust infrastructure and generated of EMR funds, our research has grown into strong verticals in some areas. For example, I just mentioned few, like cancer research, data science, infectious disease, nanosciences, lipidomics. They're all doing very well. And this is all, these clusters, I just want to mention few highlights. For this is a cancer research cluster. which is backed by 6 faculty, doing very well. Not many PhD students, ongoing projects, very well funded, and having good publication records, and so on and so forth, and also have very many links with national and international. We have a very active data science and computational biology center, the third area, where again experts from different data sciences have got together and working, and also they've got a very popular MSc and PhD program in data science, well funded. Again, this particular groups. We have another one of infectious disease, where most of the people are looking at the antimicrobial resistance, either in mycobacterium or in fungal diseases, and also in signaling in mycobacterium. Again, have developed very many international and national collaborations and doing very well in terms of funded projects, research publication, number of researchers, and so on and so forth. We have another very active Nanoscience Center, which have got 4 to 5 faculty working together. They've got nano mission projects also, good publication records, and in short, they're doing very well. The Epidomics Center is also a cluster is doing extremely well. It is based on this LCMS acquired by FIST grant, and many people are researches kind of revolve around Epidomics facility, and because of the Epidomics facility, they have got several grants related to lipids analysis, and I would say it's doing very well with a lot of close cross talks with many institutes, nationally and internationally speaking. Our research has also led to quality publications. We're extremely happy that our colleagues' papers are coming out in top journals with high impacts. And in fact, some are doing on the cover of the journals. And one recent paper I will wish to point out, it was picked up by JBC as editor's pick. That is among 50 papers out of more than 6,000 papers. And the student even got a Harvard Tabor Award for that work. And she was to travel to San Diego to receive the award. Many books have been published in recent times in very prestigious presses and very well received in terms of downloads, if you try to count. Our research, this focus is always on translational research, and no wonder we have been making regular efforts towards patenting our discoveries. And on campus, we have got about 175 patents. And in fact, Professor Sulamurthy, who is here, he'll tell us that we have got in Amity group more than 1,000 patents, which have been resulted in many in technology transfers also. I share 2 recent technology which is being transferred to different industries. We are in the talk. One is this COVID detection kit. This was achieved in a fast-track project, 1-year funded project, where all the work was done almost during lockdown. The present invention involves developing a direct and faster method of visual detection of COVID-19 with unaided eye. And the assay, in short, is performed without the RNA extraction step, which serves as a major barrier to scale up the testing of COVID patients. The assay has been optimized such that patient samples can be directly used for reverse loop mediated isothermal amplification, followed by integrated CRISPR-Cas technique that allows accurate detection of SARS-CoV-2 in approximately 100 minutes. So no RNA isolation in this kit-based detection system. And the other one is very user-friendly. Kit has been developed to overcome one major limit, the novel visual mammalian cell-based reporter system to detect these pollutants in water, mostly these disrupting pollutants like anti-androgens in water, and this kit can detect up to picomolar levels within an hour. So this is also, both technologies are under process of transferring to different industry. I must admit that all these efforts and all the outcome which we have shared is the result of single-handedly push of our Honorable Chancellor, who is really a game changer, and he is really nurturing our talent, skills, and abilities. And we are very grateful that he provides us the full support, freedom, and of course, motivation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So I next invite Professor PB Sharma, the Vice Chancellor of Amity University, Haryana. A reputed academician, Professor PB Sharma has been the founder, Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University, DTU, and a former professor of IIT Delhi, and the President of Engineering Science Division of the Indian Science Congress. Professor Sharma, a man of eminence and vision, has been a true institutional builder and a breakthrough leader who has been steering Amity University, Haryana towards excellence for the past 5 years. I invite Professor Sharma for his considered opinion on this special evening. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jenny. Mr. President, Mr. President-elect of the prestigious society, Honorable Chief Guest, Director General of CSIR, Professor Dr. Monday, distinguished Founder President of Amity Education Group, Dr. Ashok Chawan, Honorable Chancellor of AUH, distinguished scientists and members of this prestigious society, ladies and gentlemen, let me at the outset extend a very warm welcome to each one of you on behalf of the entire Amity University Haryana community. Mr. President, Dr. Rajendra Prasad has asked me to share what is my considered opinion when such a galaxy of scientists of our great nation are congregating together under the banner of the 90th annual meeting of the prestigious Society of Biological Chemists of India, which is one of the most prestigious society we have. We are keeping a theme of the interface between chemistry and biology at this annual meeting. My considered opinion, ladies and gentlemen, is I have all along been holding the view that the man is not at the center of creation, least its Lord, as besides the human, animal, and the plant kingdom, it is the microbial kingdom that holds a much greater say in both in the creation as well as sustenance of this beautiful, well-structured, smart, and intelligent universe of which we, the humans, are only a part. As such, we have no choice but to acknowledge the power of microbial kingdom as being far superior to anything else which we have around. It is for this reason I hold the view that the Vedic rishis of the ancient India's civilization always regarded peace and harmony with nature as an essential condition for a happy and healthy habitat on planet Mother Earth, and acknowledge the power of nature and its forces of nature that sovereign both the bliss and, when required, the vice, if the nature become furious about our activities and harm we inflict upon the environment. That is why the great attention had been paid by the founding fathers of Indian civilization on what I call body tech, described as yoga and fitness, food tech, which is our Indian cuisine, comprising of variety of dishes, including the spices which we have, the herbal tech, the science of healthy life, Ayurveda, and finally the mind tech, which includes meditation and contemplation on the very purpose and meaning of life. All these were developed as the science of healthy life by our ancestors that provided a highly developed and time-tested system of life tech that assured human existence for a good 100 years of lifespan as ordained in the Vedas as Jive Mishradhasatam, as in Atharveda. Pashyam Mishradhasatam, not only to live for 100 years, we should be able to see with clarity and vision for 100 years. Buddhyam Shraddha Sardasatam. Let our intellect, our mind work with the clarity for another 100 years. Rohim Shraddhasatam. Let me be sensitive enough to realize the beauty of this nature and contribute our mind to this. Pushem Shraddhasatam. Let me be excited to contribute to the nourishment and sustenance of this beautiful world. And Bhavem Shraddhasatam. Let me also remain excited for 100 years to continue to create a world better than the world which we inherited from our ancestors. The life tech of the Vedic times strengthened our immunity to diseases, including the viruses and microbial attacks, by an integral approach that included lifestyle, food habits, Ayurvedic herbal medicines, and maintenance of purity of mind and action supplemented by yoga and meditation. Together, these kept the human metabolism highly efficient and effective to nurture the mind, body, and soul, to enable man to touch the altars of human excellence and divine bliss during his lifetime. This is perhaps the right time to look back at the science of healthy life, a 1931 book by renowned biologist Dr. G.P. Wells and H.G. Wells and Julian Huxley, and look deep into the body medicine and understand how this magnificent, intelligent design works with a perfect synergy between Rasayan, that is the chemistry, and the Jeev Vigyan, that is the biology, and allows the microbial kingdom to enjoy its fruits and produce the nutrients and proteins in the functioning of the metabolism. The theme, the time to return to these basics of life, has now once again arrived. I submit to you the learned gathering. Hence, I submit for the consideration of the learned assembly of the scientists of our great nation, fellows and members of the prestigious Society of Biological Chemists of India, that the next tech is life tech. Let this August gathering discover a more profound meaning of life tech and provide a turning point in our quest to create a happy and healthy living on planet Mother Earth. I am indeed delighted to note that this learned assembly has chosen metabolism to drug discovery as the theme for this annual meeting. And what a privilege it is for the Amity University, Haryana, to have the honor of hosting this great event at Amity University, Haryana, Gurugram, under the presidentship of our own eminent scientist, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. We are highly proud of Dr. Rajendra Prasad for choosing Amity University, Haryana as its place of scientific explorations in his journey on the path of eminence in life sciences after superannuation from Jawaharlal Nehru University. Under his able leadership and under the visionary guidance of our illustrious founder president, Dr. Ashok Chawan, and our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Sim Chawan, we have built world-class facilities in biosciences and have attracted some of the brightest minds in the Faculty of Biotechnology at our university, who, together with Dr. Rajendra Prasad, are engaged in world-class research and development in a number of areas of high importance to the humanity. And we have established the research clusters, which Dr. Rajendra Prasad has explained in his presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we would have been most delighted to host this meeting in person, but for the COVID-19. But I invite each one of you to visit our campus once the pandemic of COVID-19 is over. Ladies and gentlemen, I, along with Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Director AIB, the President of SBCI, express my profound gratitude to our illustrious Director General, Dr. Shekhar Mandeji, for giving us the honor of being the chief guest at the inauguration of the August gathering of biologists and chemists of our great nation. I also extend to you, the learned speakers and the participating scientists, a warm welcome on my personal behalf and on behalf of our visionary founder president, Honorable Dr. Ashok Chawan. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, good evening. Our Chancellor sir has joined. So it is so. Let us welcome our Chancellor sir, Dr. Sim Chawan, who has just joined.
Dr. Prasad, I can never miss your program. And if Monday is there, then doubly not. So I rushed. I'm a few minutes late, but I'm here. Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you, sir. Ujjani, please ask them to play the video.
So just we'll take 2 minutes to show our navigation path to the meeting, virtually held, but at the same time to give you a feel of how it is. before we invite our chief guest for today's lecture, we'll request the IT team to please show us the navigation path.
Hello and welcome to the 90th annual meet of the SBCI 2021. This is a landing page wherein you will be required to enter a registered email ID to log in. After logging in, you will be taken to the venue where the annual meet is taking place. This is the lobby area wherein all the elements highlighted with the red dot can be accessed just by a click to view informative content. We also have a few pop-up banners displayed here with informative content. On either sides of the lobby, you can click on Auditorium to view the live session taking place on the screen here. By tapping on Agenda, you can view details of each session taking place on all 3 days. By clicking on Question tab, you can now type in your questions to the speaker here. By clicking on Polling, you can participate in the polling booth as well. By going back to the lobby, you can click on Networking Lounge, wherein you can share and download e-card details, chat with attendees, and download your own e-card as well. By clicking on Post a Session, you can now view any one of the posters to view informative content. You can also join each poster session by clicking here. You can join your allotted poster session by clicking on the breakout room here. If you have any trouble finding the session in this list mentioned here, you can always search in the search tool mentioned here. By clicking on Photo Booth, you can now click selfies in the Amity University Haryana frame. By clicking on Digital Certificate, you can view your own digital certificate and download yours as well by clicking on the Download Certificate option, which will be available on the last day of this program. If you're facing any difficulties accessing this platform, feel free to contact the technical assistance number mentioned here below. Thank you for attending the 90th annual meet of the SBCI 2021. We hope you have a wonderful virtual experience.
So I said,
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just thank the IT team for making it as real as it could be. And with that, I welcome Professor Shekhar C. Mande, Director General of Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and the Secretary of Department of Scientific and Industrial Research, DSIR, Ministry of Science and Technology, our esteemed chief guest for the evening. An expert structural and computational biologist and X-ray crystallographer, Professor Mande was formerly a scientist at the Institute of Microbial Technology, Chandigarh, and then at the Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostics, that is CDFD in Hyderabad, and then he was the director of the National Center for Cell Sciences in Pune. So without waiting anymore, I request Professor Mande to tell us about the CSIR endeavors for making a new Atmanirbhar Bharat under his able and very versatile guidance.
Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ujeni, for that nice introduction. Dr. Ashok Chawan, the Honorable Founder of the Amity Group. Dr. Asim Chawan, Honorable Chancellor of the Amity Group. Professor Sharma, Professor Rajendra Prasad, the current SBC President. Professor D.N. Rao, the incoming President of SBC. All the dignitaries who are present here and all friends and colleagues, it's indeed a privilege for me to be able to be present at the inaugural ceremony of SBC. I have been attending the SBC meeting since my student days, and I have continued to do so even during my career as a scientist. And therefore, it's an extraordinary privilege for me to be able to present at the inaugural ceremony of this particular event. The overview presented by Professor Rajendra Prasad was outstanding. I have been to some of the Amity campuses myself, and I have looked at the infrastructure, which is just simply amazing infrastructure that exists in all the campuses of Amity University. Moreover, the people who were present there, the faculty and students and all, they bring in a lot of new energy, which is so gratifying to see. And people like Professor Rajendra Prasad being there only helps in taking this further for the university as well as for the entire biological chemistry of the country. I've been asked to talk about CSI's efforts on Atmanirbhar Bharat. Those following me will also have a talk by Dr. Ram Vishwakarma, who heads the CSI strategic group on COVID, and he will tell you a little bit about what we have done during the COVID period. But I cannot but help making a few comments of the COVID period before I get on to the Atmanirbhar Bharat concept. All of us will agree that about 2 years ago, when this particular incidences started coming to the light of pneumonia-like clusters in China, this end of December 2019 or beginning of January 2020, that had raised alarms all over the world of this potential new disease that was around the corner. But having said that, it was not surprising because pandemics like this have been predicted for a very long time to come in humanity. Pandemics do appear and they do disappear after a brief period, but nonetheless, they account for a very large number of deaths and great amount of sufferings to many people. And this was expected that the next viral pandemic is just around the corner. In fact, it has been expected for the last 25 years or so that the next pandemic is just around the corner. Hopefully, the pandemic will actually start going down at some point of time. And as most of the pandemics do, it will eventually become an endemic disease, as in the most of the other cases. In my own lab, we were actually puzzled by one particular observation after about 6 months of the pandemic had set in. And let me very briefly tell you in the next 2-3 minutes our observations were. What we realized in about July or August 2020 was that the mortality rate appeared to have a very strange dichotomy. More number of people appeared to have been dying in richer countries than those in the poorer countries. And that's a very strange dichotomy that we observed. And we are not sure whether this dichotomy was real or was it artificial or unrecorded deaths or rather lower reporting of the disease from the poorer countries. But that phenomena has continued even till today, as we see. If you look at the numbers, deaths per million population across the different countries in the world, we do indeed see that in rich countries, about 2,000 people per million have died during the pandemic, while in poorer countries or the countries which are not so rich, about 300 to 500 people are dying per million due to the pandemic. And in my lab, we actually started exploring this particular observation. And we explored about 25 different parameters. That is prevalence of different kinds of diseases, whether they be parasitic, viral, or bacterial. In different countries, their prevalence. The prevalence of lifestyle diseases, diabetes, autoimmune disorders, and so on and so forth. And other parameters such as sanitation, drinking water, and so on and so forth. It was very soon clear to us, having done linear regression of 25 different parameters and combining them, that one of the major factors that people might have been dying in richer countries was the age profile. As we all know, that an average age of population in countries which are very well-to-do is much higher than those countries which are lower. And we knew that this disease actually is more serious and severe for elderly than the younger people. That was number one. Number two, we also realized that the countries where prevalence of autoimmune disorders was higher and the countries where infectious disease prevalence was higher, there is an inverse correlation. That is, countries where there are infectious diseases, the prevalence of them is higher, they have lower death rates. Where the countries where autoimmune disorders or lifestyle diseases like type 1, type 2 diabetes and all is higher, the larger number of deaths. And we are able to rationalize saying that this particular disease progresses in two distinct phases. In the first phase, the virus replicates in the body at a very large space. But by about 8th or 9th or the 10th day, the viral counts actually start coming down. That is, the body itself starts clearing the virus about 8th or 9th day, at least from the respiratory tract. However, this very strange thing happens in the body by around 9th or 10th day, that body's immune system starts reacting, and at times there's an hyperimmune reaction to the virus. And that leads to pneumonia-like symptoms, and the chest gets congested, and the oxygen levels start dropping. But because autoimmune disorders, their prevalence is higher in the richer countries, we are able to conclude from here that possibly because of this, it is in richer countries, because there are larger number of people who are affected by similar disorders, therefore more number of people might be dying because of them. So the overall conclusion was that the dichotomy that we found between richer and poorer countries was confounding. There was a confounding factor, and it has nothing really to do to the economic status of a country, but rather the profile of aging population and the profile of different disease types. But because infectious diseases are spread because of poorer sanitation conditions in countries which are not so well-to-do, we are also able to actually suggest a very provocative hypothesis, and that may or may not be accepted by everyone, but nonetheless, it's a very provocative hypothesis. And we said that in some sense, hygiene appears to be playing a role in response to the disease. So the people who are exposed to poorer hygiene actually respond better to COVID. It is only then that we can address some of the most important issues of future. So in a sense, if all of us work, it is only then we'll be able to address. So the working of private industry along with academia is an extremely important aspect that is recognized all over the world. But somehow, we have not utilized that to its fullest potential in our country. But COVID period has been a game changer. And in COVID period, everyone has worked together. It has been very gratifying to see that it has worked very well. And the third aspect, of course, was that every mitigation strategy that go into that mitigation must be available in the local or closer geographical neighborhood. In a sense, if all the components of equipment that you are making or the kits you are making, if they are available locally, then you don't have to depend on certain critical parts to other countries or locations which are farther off. And that's where the concept of Atmanirbhar comes up. The Atmanirbhar Bharat concept essentially arises from here, that everything that you do, the basic ingredients of that must be available in the closer geographical neighborhood. And Atmanirbhar Bharat concept is such a powerful concept that we must be able that we are looking at in India very, very serious climate change, the future of therapies, and the future of humanity itself. To address it is imperative that we embrace the concept of Atmanirbhar. And that concept essentially means will make our society a true society. And I have no country, society as a
Now I welcome Dr. Ashok Chawan, our Honorable Chancellor of the Amity University, Haryana, our charismatic leader and educationist, entrepreneur, and our guiding force at Amity University. An alumnus of the prestigious Wharton Business School at the University of Pennsylvania, he is a true champion of innovation and research, and hence is a part of a number of committees, including the Government of India's National and the Champions of Change program of Prime Minister Modi, which involves private sector leaders in policy making. So over to you, sir. Please tell us a few words of wisdom.
Thank you, Dr. Ujjaini, for that introduction. And I am indeed delighted to be here with all of you. Am I visible? If IT can just maybe pin my video, then I can come on screen.
Yes.
Yeah, you are visible.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Amity. You know, I was this morning at the Amity University, Haryana at Manesar, and I, after some time, spent time with Professor PB Sharma, who is just a remarkable Vice Chancellor. And once again, today, he impressed me with his great wisdom and decision-making ability, and with Dr. Padmakali, with the whole team there. And Professor Rajendra Prasad was also there. And after some time, he said to me, "Sir, I think you should now leave the campus." And I was a little bit stunned, because he has never asked me to leave the campus before. And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Sir, because if you do not leave now, you may be delayed joining the conference." And I told him I had a very urgent meeting in Gurugram on the way back. Dr. Prasad, you are an amazing person. You are someone who is changing of legendary, and founder has great appreciation for you. I have great appreciation for you. And this meeting that you have this year organized, that we have been speaking about for a long time now, under the aegis of the Society of Biological Chemists of India, is indeed an incredibly important meeting. I'm so happy that I got to hear today the words of the great Dr. Shekhar Mande. And as Dr. Prasad, you had briefed me, he had informed us earlier today that because of some very important government meetings, he would have to leave sharp at 5. And I hope that he has now left, so he's not late for his meeting. But we truly appreciate his coming. And the fact that we got not only the DG CSIR, Dr. Mande, to speak, but in him a scientist who is a true expert of protein structure and biochemical and biophysical processes, and therefore very relevant to today's topic, is something extraordinary. And he has laid out a path and something which is very close to the heart of everyone at Amity, from the top leadership to every scientist and every faculty member. And that is, how can we use the knowledge and the tools at our disposal? How can we utilize this cumulative wisdom that emerges from diverse viewpoints and specializations from different fields coming together in interdisciplinary areas to solve the biggest problems of the world? And what Dr. Mande has laid out today so beautifully, utilizing COVID as an example, is how you can bring together different fields of knowledge, different institutions, both public and private, and target it towards finding solutions and to solve problems. And when he says that the next pandemic is around the corner, this is coming from someone who is at the very pulse of what is happening. And the path that he has laid out in how we must all collaborate. And therefore, this message goes out to all of us who are on the call today, that we must all join hands, we must all collaborate, bring together our best, and find the solutions that we need for tomorrow. One of the things that I find very exciting is that tomorrow the world will change through a few different sectors, and particularly India. One of them is Agri-Tech, and Professor PB Sharma at Amity University, Haryana at Manesar, you have been thinking about this area, and we have set up an Agri-Tech incubator and a field testing site, and we are going to work in this area. The other area that I'm particularly interested in is precision medicine. How can we develop drugs and pharmaceuticals that are not a cookie cutter, but really, truly are customized for the patient and the disease? And I think tomorrow, the Googles and the Facebooks and the Amazons will see in living organisms and see how the drugs that we are delivering is going to specifically target the objective that we want to achieve. And in that, the area of biochemistry or biological chemistry is so relevant when we look at structural biology, at the metabolism, and all of the functions that are related to that. I think that, and Dr. D.N. Rao, we are seeing you as the incoming president of SBCI, and we're so proud of you, one of the tallest leaders from the IIC in Bangalore. We certainly will meet you sometime soon. We have a university coming in northern Bangalore, and we'll invite you to collaborate with you there. Dr. Brahmachari is also in Bangalore, and we have invited him also to collaborate with us and work with us. We will look at you for your support and help. And all of the other great experts. I was reading the list, Dr. Prasad, that you had sent of the great minds that are part of this mission. Dr. Ram Vishwakarma later on will be speaking about this very important COVID task force of the CSIR. And, you know, if that has already happened because of change of program, I'll see the recording. But all of these are absolutely critical deliberations that are so important for our country. So, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, we are so proud of you. Our founder president, Dr. Ashok Chawan, is a person who is both a visionary leader and has a panoramic view, unlike anyone else I've met in my life. Being my father, I would say it even if he were not. But at the same time, he has the ability to really get into the details and take hold and control and to recognize talent and to empower people and to make them do the details that add up to something great. And it is he who, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, brought you into the Amity University family. He is the one who identified in you this great innovator who will do amazing things. And you are doing it, and we've been so proud of it. I invite all of the people online today to visit the Bio Innova Labs of Professor Rajendra Prasad at the Amity University Haryana campus. And it is something remarkable, amazing labs. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad, in his own right, has been able to identify great talent and bring a lot of young blood into various interdisciplinary teams and clusters, supported so ably by Dr. Selvamurthy, the president of ASTIF and Chancellor of Amity University, Chhattisgarh. And one of those talents that he spotted was Dr. Ojeni Dasgupta. Dr. Ojeni had left her scientific career for family reasons, and it was difficult for her to integrate back into a scientific career. Many of the traditional labs looked at the resume and said, no, this break, we cannot justify bringing you in. But Dr. Rajendra Prasad saw a gem, a diamond, and he said, Dr. Ojeni, we will bring you in and give you an opportunity. And the number of publications, projects, patents, Dr. Ojeni has built along with the Center of Lipidomics, which is actually, I think, one of the best centers in the country in this area, is something remarkable. So Dr. Ojeni, you, and along with you, all of our young scientists that are present, and I'm seeing at Amity University, Haryana, I feel absolutely proud of all of you. You are the future, but you have been identified by a great man. That is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. So my congratulations to all members of the SBCI. You are all great scientists, and the only hope I have is that together we will be able to join hands, work together, and find problems to solve problems of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So as we continue, we embark into our journey for this 90th SBCI meeting with a special lecture by the guest of honor, Dr. Ram Vishwakarma, Scientific Advisor, CSIR, and Chairman, COVID Strategy Group of CSIR. We welcome you, sir. So prior to this, Dr. Ram Vishwakarma was the director of Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine in Jammu, and prior to which he was the vice president of the Piramal Life Sciences, Mumbai, and he was also a staff scientist at National Institute of Immunology, Delhi. He is a fellow of the National Academy of Sciences in India and an expert in new drug discovery, medicinal chemistry, organic synthesis, chemical biology, and glycobiology. So in these challenging times, when the pandemic taught us how to familiarize and accept the new normal, there is no better way to start the 90th SBCI than today's lecture by Dr. Vishwakarma, COVID Mitigation Strategies of CSIR. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jenny. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Dr. Ashok Chawan, I had a number of very, very memorable discussion almost 11 to 12 years ago with you. If you recall, so it's a pleasure to see you and pleasure to see the growth of this great organization. And I see great hope. I firmly believe that India's R&D will be equitably distributed between public funded organization and private organization. I think that will disappear. And Dr. Aseem, Dr. Andhya Prasad, my, I would say, senior colleague in the neighborhood, when I got frustrated from NII, I used to go and have a cup of tea with him. So he has been a great mentor to me. And I can see Dr. Selvamurthy, I can see D.N. Rao, Professor D.N. Rao. I had good interaction with the Institute and Dr. Natarajan. I think there are a lot of colleagues. It's my special privilege to be here on Society of Biological Chemistry because this is I think, the oldest scientific body in this country. And I think whatever biology that is happening in this country actually associated with this event. So it's a pleasure. And 25 years ago, I was given first opportunity to speak for 10 minutes in JNU when Professor Alok Bhattacharya and Rajendra Prasad organized this meeting as a young scientist. So it's a pleasure to be here speaking to all of you. Also, I'm very happy, and I must complain to Dr. Rajendra Prasad that you are making me a sort of a figurative figure in this event. This is the area that you have selected for this year SBC is my motto. I am organic chemist and all my life I have pursued questions of biology. And I have seen this divide in this country, how chemistry and biology is so deeply divided and actually leading both these disciplines to irrelevance. Sorry for my saying this. And I think it's first time when I see this, metabolism to drug discovery and bringing chemistry meeting biology. And I think in the United States of America, this happened 30 years ago. And we see fruits of that, number of departments mushrooming in Harvard to Stanford called chemical biology. I think this is a good, at least say, intention. It has not happened. I must honestly acknowledge divide continues, but it's a good intention. And I think if SBC can do that, and I would like to see if SBC also include, outliers, organic chemistry people addressing problem of biology in this forum, I think that divide will. So I think Dr. Prasad would have invited me as a scientific lecturer for my area of interest in this discipline rather than a decorative piece here in this function. But anyway, Dr. Mande has set a very good tone for my discussion. And what I will do is that give you a first-person witness account for last 2 years, how we battled this pandemic. And as you know, historically, such pandemic comes only after 250 or 300 years of periodicity. So I've gone into histories of this pandemic, and I must say that what Shekhar was saying, that the real one is not this one. So I must repeat this. The real one is yet to come. So let's, I think, keep that in mind that, what we are dealing with here. And I will share my, if I can share my presentation. Can you see my presentation?
Not yet, Dr. Vishwakarma.
Oh.
Not yet, sir.
Okay, just a minute.
You reshare it, Dr. Vishwakarma.
Yeah.
Just unshare and then reshare.
Ram, in between, we have met together, chemistry and biology, we published together, if you remember.
Yeah. We have good paper published together. Yeah. I don't know. Somebody can help me if I can share this.
I think you reshared, please, sir.
Yeah, I will do this now. Now, can you see now?
Yes.
Yes, now it is.
Very good. So I think I'm going to talk about very briefly 20 minutes. I'll give you, I think what Sekhar hinted, that the power of working together, the power of aeronautical engineering working together with biology. I'll give you a snapshot. This is not somebody else's work. This is our own work in our own country. And I'm witness to that, having been in this CSG for almost 2 years now. So just to take you back, this first case of COVID-19 was reported on 30th January 2020 in India. And at that time, we were hearing about this Wuhan virus and all that. And of course, at that time, if you look at the assessment of our preparedness, we had a very limited diagnostic capabilities. And because of the breakdown of supply chain, if you have the complete breakdown, that those components which Sekhar was referring to, they were totally missing in the, you can't buy enzyme, you can't buy sort of PCR primers. There was nothing actually. Everything was shut down. No point of care diagnostic, no vaccine, no therapeutic, highly infectious, dangerous virus. We knew very little about it. And we knew that it causes extreme respiratory situations and cytokine burst. And biology and pathology of this virus was not known. There was something known about its earlier avatar, which is SARS-CoV, which came, I think, 5-6 years ago. So there was some scientific information. And I think that information laid the foundation of global sort of issues, globally scientific community from both virology, immunology, and therapeutics. They took clue from there because the spike protein in that virus, which MERS and SARS-1, was very similar to what this virus. In this context, obviously responsibility was on scientific community in India. And I must say the scientific and medical communities in this country rose to challenge remarkably well. And CSIR being one of them, and was ideally positioned because we had 38 national institutes and with diverse expertise. So we were positioned to sort of address this issue. And because of our core expertise, we had a proven track record in sequencing, IGIB, CCMB, Intech Chandigarh, a lot of these top-class institutions. Diagnostic for rare genetic diseases, ICV Kolkata, many institutions. And of course, CSIR is fountainhead for generic pharma industry. So partnering with large pharma industry was very easy for us, and we started discussing with them. Fortunately, we had core engineering and medical devices expertise and capacity and long-term experience of working on rare infectious diseases. And Dr. Anand Prasad knows, the core capability that goes down in our country beyond CSIR. And having these BSL-2 and multiple BSL-3 facility in the system. So getting virus, sequencing it, culturing it quickly, it was far easier to look at this, basically what is going on. And the most important thing I witnessed was the overwhelming support and participation, not only lip service, the participation with cash. Crores of rupees were poured by large, small, medium industry of this country in this effort. And I'm sure they must have done to other scientific organizations also. So that was an overwhelming support from all over the country. And we Dr. Mande organized an emergency meeting in February 2020. So remember, after 1 month, we were aware about this. All the director of CSR lab were invited to a director's meet. And that is where we discussed what are we going to do and how we are going to address this problem, because we realized early on that we are dealing with something far more dangerous than a typical respiratory virus or some sort of other coronavirus, because there are 5 or 6 coronaviruses which are routinely in India when we get cold in September and February. So we realized that this is something different. And then we set up this COVID strategy group, was constituted with very clear 5 verticals, that these are the issues and that we have to address. And government, industry, MSME, startup, all were brought together with a lot of discussion at CSR level, at ministry level, at all of that nature coming, and they did a remarkable job. I'll give you some example. And finally, there was the issue of supply chain and logistics support. When everything breaks down, and then you realize that how dependent we have become for outside world. I mean, we keep talking about all nice things about ourselves, but the reality was in front of you, that we don't have this reagent, we don't have this enzyme, we don't have a simple uridine for that matter to develop even mRNA platform or deoxyuridine. And that was led by Dr. Anjan Ray, Director of Indian Institute of Petroleum. He's a man of market, and he sort of created tools to provide us day-to-day information about the supply chain issues. And we started meeting every day at 6 p.m. for 3 hours. 8 directors, DG and me met for 1 year every day for 3 hours. And after a little bit of letter, we are now meeting every week now on Monday for 3 hours. So I think that is the power of bringing all these together. And immediately, many of these industry, you see all the name, a very nice letter from Mr. Mukesh Ambani himself committing everything that is required. Reliance, Tata Sons, we had a number of meetings with Chandrasekharan, Tata Chand chairmen. He himself attended meeting. Intel, TCS, Cipla, Sun Pharma, Arvindo Pharma, Cadila, Bharat Biotech, Syngene, and this list I can add many more. So I think this was a good combination of resources and capabilities. So to give you an example, that first thing we did was we realized that testing facilities are very limited, and many of you remember how difficult it was to get RT-PCR tests. So then we organized that 14 CSR labs, because CSR labs, as you know, are located in virtually every part of India. So from Jammu and Kashmir to Northeast to South, everywhere. So we identified very carefully 14 labs where these makeshifts or already available facilities were converted to RT-PCR lab, worked with the state government, and started providing these services to the existing testing facility governed by the medical system. And this statistics, maybe 1 month or two, more than 25-30 lakh sample have been analyzed in these labs, and this continues. Okay. And then, of course, training of human resources, people who can do this RT-PCR test, so that was done. And also starting supporting to those areas which are not available. For example, this is an example of last month or 2 months ago, when we created a facility, 2 facilities, one in Kargil and one in Leh, with the help of the nation. So wherever it was required, because of the proximity, because of availability of CSR lab, these facilities were created and they continued. I think now when the Omicron is coming, I think we are now reactivating these facilities and designing new primer, because Omicron actually, except one kit, cannot be recognized by any PCR kit which is available in the market. So this is the next level challenge that we are facing. And then all of you and some of you will know that this INSACOG was set up by Government of India for the large-scale genomic sequencing by Department of Biotechnology, CSIR, DST, Ministry of Health and Welfare. And so far we have done close to maybe 90,000 genomes in our country, and more than half of those genome sequencing were done by CSR labs alone. So that you can give you an idea about the contribution of these labs, 4 or 5 labs, in fact, Chandigarh, IGIB, CCMB, and our lab in Calcutta, CDRI Lucknow, lab in Jammu, all these labs started doing these sequencing work. So this provided actually a good way to figure out the movement of variant, and that Delta variant, which was sort of discovered in Maharashtra, precisely Amravati district, happened because of these efforts, and we could find out it's more. And I think that work has been then recently published in one Nature paper and one science paper by Anurag team and team of the Ministry of Health together. So I think some of you must have seen those publications. And then one interesting project we started, which was turned out to be very, very, from the hindsight, looks very interesting. We started immediately a zero surveillance project of all CSIR employee first. So close to 10,000 people of CSIR now is running around 11,000. We started this project looking at the immune status of our own people. And since, as I said, CSIR is located all over the country, you get different kind of geographical information about the virus and kind of variant that are happening, and what is the response of the both T cell and B cell response. And this project continues. And that paper was published in Science, which is the title is given here, which is a very interesting input. And we got this set of data along with other data that seropositivity, city like Delhi had reached almost 70% plus. So because of when actually the second wave hit us. Diagnostic innovation, I think this was a breakthrough that happened in India because in fact, the first time CRISPR-Cas technology was used to develop this diagnostic kit by scientists at IGIB, which immediately was out-licensed to Tata Sons. And now this is being marketed as a Tata MD check. It's a very, very fast, within, I think, few minutes, 40 to 45 minutes, you get your test done. It's known as Feluda kit, and it has a capacity of 10,000 to 1 lakh sample per day and can be deployed in mobile vans. And this is Tata group has actually setting up a separate Tata Health Sciences group, and they are currently marketing it. And of course, now we are trying to tweak this for Omicron, because this is a very versatile platform technology where you can actually design different kind of components and deal with the mutants. This second innovation happened in CCMB with Rakesh's lab with dry swab method. All of you know when you take your RT-PCR sample, you take them in VTMs. And transporting VTM is also a cause of the infections, because a lot of people are afraid. The workers, doctors, hospitals, they were afraid actually to handle those samples. So I think there was a need to set up a method where you don't have to actually keep, if you can have a dry swab. And this innovation was developed, and this method was eventually approved by ICMR. Both are approved by ICMR and DCGI, and they are actually in the marketplace. And these trials were done in major hospitals like Apollo, Spice Health, which is a Spice Air company, Merrill Diagnostic, and all these other companies. Currently, our team is working on these VOCs like Omicron, and very soon we will announce the effective diagnostic kit for this particular mutant. And of course, we have to be very careful, because Omicron, when it comes to India, it will not remain Omicron. It will become Omicron plus, and plus, because the kind of genetic diversity and immunological diversity that we are dealing with this country. So we have to be very, very careful about, there is no room for complacency that somebody telling this is a mild virus, or, I really scientifically have no reason to say that it is a mild virus. It has mutated so largely that it has actually acquired, it escaped for all antibodies, all vaccines. And in fact, yesterday you must have heard Dr. Paul coming officially on TV that the current vaccine may not work. So I think there is a great need for next level effort of all the scientific organizations coming together and address the next generation problem. This is the first thing, I think, first impact CSR immediately made with the help of Dr. Hamid Sitla. Within 2 months, we looked at this molecule called favipiravir. Later on, it turned out to be not so effective, but still it is effective. It is a widely used antiviral drug in China and Russia for almost 45 years. And immediately, our lab in IICT Hyderabad, under the leadership of Dr. Chandrasekhar, we developed very quickly method of synthesis, passed on technology to Cadila. We did clinical trial together, went to DCGI, and then completed clinical trial and got the approval. And then other companies, 3-4 other companies, we transferred this technology. And this is now, there is no short supply of this particular drug. And now we are actually working on an improved version of this drug. The problem with this molecule is that you have to give close to 8 to 12 grams per day. And it is not so. So we are looking at now new delivery mode, so we can deal with sort of less molecule, more Cmax in terms of the exposure of the drug. So this was a direct impact that was made. The second direct impact was made this very complex drug called remdesivir. I'm sure all of you will be remembering and smelling of this molecule as the short supply. Again, our lab in IICT Hyderabad and a couple of other labs, they built this synthesis and then licensed to 4 or 5 companies. And that is how it made available to India. If CSR has not intervened, both these molecules were not available to Indian population for another 6 months or maybe 1 year. So that sort of intervention that we have done. And it was given to with Mylan and other companies. And now we are looking at, again, an improved version of this drug in our antiviral mission, which CSR has created. And then we started a lot of the repurposing trial, because as you know, scientifically, it is not possible to discover a molecule in such a short time, which you can do clinically. Even worldwide, if you see, there are only 2 molecules floating around. and one of them is actually going down, you are left with only one molecule of the Pfizer molecule, which is showing reasonable efficacy. So we started doing, we did a lot of internal work, and CDRI Lucknow's completed phase 3 trial on this drug called Umifenavir, Arbidol. This is again a drug for antiviral drug approved many part of the world. And we have submitted this result to DCGI, and hopefully we will see light of the day on this one. It's very safe molecule. It's basically mild and moderate situation, not for severe. So we have completed that trial. Convalescent plasma trial was done by ISCB, and phase 2 trial was completed. And there was some confusion about whether this is working or not, but now there is a clarity that there are certain kind of convalescent plasma from certain set of individuals, depending on the immune response. It will work, and the time that you infuse also is very critical. So there's now reasonable clarity on this. The third major drug that we started trial with Cadila Pharma and CSIR, actually funded by Amity program of CSIR, we have embarked on 3 trials, one phase 2, one phase 3, and another phase 2 going on. And we have completed one phase 2 trial, went to DCGI and completed phase 3 trial, and we are within coming week or maybe 3 weeks, we will have some idea what the regulator is saying. In the meantime, the trial that was done by CSR and Cadila in India, based on that data, Philippines has approved this molecule for severe patient. So this is also news I will share with you, that a foreign country has approved the clinical trial based on clinical trial data in our country for severe patient in COVID. And Sepsileg actually is approved drug for bacterial sepsis. 3-4 years ago it was approved. And bacterial sepsis and COVID sepsis is very similar, basically a very onslaught of IL-6 and other sort of cytokines. So that is how we decided that, okay, this is a good molecule to boost your innate immunity and your toll receptors, so you can have better response before virus gets opportunity to go into second week. The first week is easier to manage virus. Once it goes to second week, that means it is your own body is actually hurting you, not the virus. So that's something is very important that this innovations may come into play. Another trial we have started this good old drug, colchicine, a natural product. It is a state-of-the-art treatment for gout. Many of the people who have gout, they use this on regular basis. But this came out to be very remarkable information about this molecule that during COVID, many people have this cardiac toxicity, basically enlargement of cardiomyocyte. And actually that continues even after you recover from COVID. And a lot of people are getting heart condition after 5 months, 6 months after the COVID. And there was a beautiful paper published from Stanford about this molecule in New England Journal of Medicine that actually it reduces the inflammation and reduces the enlargement of cardiomyocyte. So then we started a trial in India with consultation with leading clinicians that on cardiac mortality, cardiac propensity people who have type 2 diabetes, people who have high blood pressure, and that trial is almost 60% done. And we will very soon have the result on this. Chlorpromazine, this is basically a CNS drug. Very interesting drug. I talk about this niclosamide. Very, very interesting. This drug has been used for 40 years. And this, we did some work with a clinical professor in University College London, and that paper is published in Nature. And it's a phenomenal paper, where he's shown as a clinician that how this virus has acquired remarkably high level of fusogenic activity because of a spike protein. So it basically in the lung, it takes 20 cells, 30 cells and bring them together as a lump and basically create these blobs and destroy your capacity to absorb oxygen. So with that data and the data that we did with our own work with my lab and NCBS Bangalore, that paper published in PLOS Pathogen recently, where we showed that actually once the virus has entered, the processing of virus is pH dependent. The trans-Golgi network, trans-Golgi network, and that is where we could intervene with this drug. So this drug is now currently into very advanced stage of trial in India, done by us and a company, and hopefully we'll see the light of the day. The last stage basically was very interesting work done together with Sun Pharma. This is a phytopharmaceutical drug. This is the first phytopharmaceutical drug of India going to clinical trial for any disease. So this is the real first for India, and I'm proud that I'm associated with this particular innovation. And we have just published the work, and we got the DCGI approval. We completed phase 2 trial. Now we're doing phase 3 trial. And we are doing now for COVID, but it's also equally effective on dengue virus. So this is the work that was done together with Naveen Khanna and ICGB. Some of you will know about that work. So these are the clinical trials that are going on. And we have initiated a large project for new drug discovery, what we call CSR antiviral mission. And right now, on behalf of Niti Aayog, we are in the process of creating a nationwide consortium for antivirus drug discovery, where we want to include all scientific institutions from India with the core capability. And this will be a very large project. I'm hearing that close to 1,000 crore project, because now there is a realization that vaccine may lose effectiveness, efficacy. So there is a need for therapeutics to deal with whether it become pandemic or endemic. So it's going to be a major project that will start happening. Now, this is I think Shekhar touched about this little bit about how to deal with, we all know that airborne transmission of virus, but what we can do, because we are sitting in closed spaces and we are, now with the Omicron, the data that is coming from Singapore, one person can infect 70 people. The Delta virus was able to infect one person to 2 people or 3 people. So I think it's very important that we really clean our air, circulate our air, no matter where we are sitting. So this device was created by a collaboration of 2 very unusual institutions, MTech Chandigarh, a microbial institute, and CSIO, which is an institute for medical devices and instrumentation. And this device was created, which basically use UV-based technology. And when you circulate the air, it basically neutralizes the virus from the air. And these all measurements were done. This, I think, is already on the bioarchive. People can read about it. And first place where it was installed was Parliament of India. So this is functioning right now in Parliament of India. And this technology is available. We have licensed to almost 25 or 30 companies across the countries. And any institution which want to use these devices, very portable, simple device devices, which will be fitted in your duct of your central AC systems. And basically, when you are circulating air, you will immobilize the virus in this. So this is also approved by AICTE for academic and technical universities and institutions. So it is available for, and I'm just saying this, that, this is one success story that has happened. Second is when this virus is in air, so we need to have monitoring of this virus in air and sewage. These are the 2 areas where you can have early warning. For example, if you start measuring sewage water, you will know 10 days before if virus outbreak is going to happen in your area or not. So I think we started these 2 projects, and this air surveillance project, again, a collaboration of 3-4 institutions, where we are using a specially designed membrane through where we are capturing the virus particle from the air and then doing RT-PCR and measuring, and then we can all the way take it to sequencing. Moving. So these are the 2 projects, and hopefully DST, CSR, DBT, and Ministry of Health very soon will announce a larger program, nationwide program of air surveillance and sewage surveillance. And I think that will give us a real-time information about the movement of the virus. This also, the work is published. Medical grade oxygen. I think those who have seen the I call it dance of the death, I think we should never see in our life. What I saw, at least personally, and I think that was the sort of, the people were sort of running around for oxygen, which was remarkable. So I think this phenomenal work was done by our lab in Indian Institute of Petroleum, and they developed this technology at 500 liter per liter per minute. And advanced, they developed a new membrane technology for this generation, where you can get almost 97% pure oxygen, which can be attached to oxygen ward, or you can have the mobile vans where you can do, and it can support 25 to 100 patients on oxygen. And so far we have installed these thanks to funding from PM CARES Fund, which cost around 60 lakhs per unit, excluding spares. We have so far commissioned 108. This is almost 1 month old slide, so maybe running around 150 units all over the country. And DRDO is also doing parallel efforts. So I think this is the one good technology that is available to us for the future. Oxygen enrichment unit. The first one was giving you medical grade oxygen. This was like for people for temporary when they are moving from home to hospital or they are waiting for hospital to enter you. This was developed by our lab in Pune, National Chemical Laboratory, and it has given to several industry. And now these units, 25 liters, 35 to 40% oxygen enrichment, they are available to use. So I think when people are selling, these vendors are selling in the market, a lot of spurious enrichment units. So good idea to have these kind of technology in mind, and they are robust, they are tested, and they are approved by NABL accreditation system and regulatory bodies. Makeshift hospitals. I think this was remarkable. This Sekhar was saying about how a building research institution can come work with a biology institution. And remarkable work. I was myself amazed because I don't understand this area, but I was amazed witnessing this. And very quickly we assemble these, 2 or 3 days time, you can sort of create this makeshift hospital with basic facility for people in villages and other areas. And I think several of these 14 installations, maybe one month ago, these installations are available and they can go to 100 patients to 500 patients. Or, these were developed and they are functioning very well. This was another important innovation that was done by National Aerospace Laboratory again, a counterpart of a BiPAP. I think those who are dealing with the medical system, you have these small devices through which you can give oxygen when real ventilator is not available. You can literally save lives of people. For even 1 hour, oxygen is saving that person's life. And this technology was designed, take my word, in 36 days and transferred to industry. This I'm talking about 1.5 years ago, at the time when supply chain was completely broken. So there was a Bangalore-based company, Bangalore-based institution. They worked day in, day out and created this technology. And today, even Delhi government has just bought 1,200 pieces. So all government, state government are buying these, keeping it ready for their requirement. And this is again approved by DGHS, approved by the controller, approved by NABL and all this. And now there is a demand coming up from neighboring countries about this particular device. So it's I must say that a very important contribution coming from National Aerospace Laboratory in partnership with industry. And then I talked about supply chain breakup. So Dr. Anjan Reyes, because he comes from market background, he created these beautiful apps where you can, these Aryogapath, where you can basically, if you are developing a device or a therapeutic or a vaccine, what component, what intermediate, what drugs, starting material you need, they are all there in your app. And he integrated all this information with the supplier. Supplier may be sitting somewhere else, user is here. And I think this was very handy for us and now it has become part of the national information system, and it will be further improved by the Ministry of IT Technology and other, and available in national health portals. It's remarkable sort of informatics development. This was, I think, 10 days ago. NAL again designed these sort of drones, which can carry 10 kg. And these drones are now actually used in Jammu and Kashmir to deliver vaccines to remote areas. Those who know, Dr. Selvamurthy, know the terrain of Jammu and Kashmir. And, if you have to go to Kishtawar, it takes 8 hours, unless your road is not washed away by a river, So you take these and within few minutes, your vaccines are available to village in Kishtawar or even, further up on Ladakh. So I think it's Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology. This is, I think, a few days ago. And this is deployed now in NER region, inhospitable region where very difficult to reach. I think this is another important contribution of CSIR. What hard lesson we have learned? All nice things I have told you about, but we have learned some hard lesson, Dr. Chawan, that, this, I think, and Sekhar may have not said it, but I will say in that many words. What we realize that, we gloat about this, India is a pharmacy of the world. Not true. It has been hollowed out. I will use this word of English, hollowed out. We have become formulation industry of India. So we no longer make APIs, we no longer make fermentation drugs, we depend everything from outside world. And we simply buy those and make these tablet capsules and sell it here. Largely, I may be slightly exaggerating. So pharmaceutical manufacturing base of API and drug intermediate of India has shrunk to alarming level and shifted to China, Southeast Asia, and CIS country. And it has two impacts. It has impact on affordability. We are very fortunate that we get drugs at affordable price. But there is a second consequence to places like Amity and universities. It is destroying the jobs, high quality jobs, which pharmaceutical API synthesis, high quality organic chemistry, high quality drug discovery, development jobs. So I think two important things, and this is a slide I made very, very carefully to talk about this. So I think this is something to ponder about. Medical devices and diagnosis sector, almost all the component, reagent, enzyme, antibody, equipment, including water. Indian laboratory import water, and some of my biologist colleague will be sort of saying why he's saying that. We import water from United States of America for some of those biological experiments. And this is really not acceptable. Not acceptable. So I think this is an alarm here that academic institutions and others should really ponder about it. Why we have come to this situation? That every enzyme have to come from Scandinavian countries, including region, including industrial enzyme. 98% industrial enzyme in this country have come from Novo Nordisk or this or that. So I think there is a need for education people to look at that, where we are actually training our human resources, what we are making them. Okay, this is the second lesson that happened. Glaring gap, the third lesson, which is something related to theme of this meeting. So I hope this meeting, they take it literally that we have a huge gap. We can't take things from lab to regulator. We keep talking about it, keep organizing conferences, keep saying these things. We do not have those capabilities, and we have never given enough credit, attention for those capabilities. ADME PK talks, IND enabling studies, regulatory studies going to regulator. So translational expertise, infrastructure for faster repurposing and development of new therapeutics and vaccines in extreme emergency. I think this needs, so I will urge that universities like Amity and other must have a translational center where you build these capacities and expertise. It is very trivial. Sometimes people will say, okay, what is there a regulatory affair? I tell you, it will kill your molecule if you don't understand the regulatory affair well. So these are the serious issues, formulation, pre-formulations, and all these things. So I think this is important. And these areas need immediate attention and policy intervention. This is the lesson we learned. But good thing about us is that I'm feeling extremely proud is that the situation demanded, the scientific and medical community and industry rose to the challenge. I think India has done remarkably well. I don't have word to say what our leaders of industry, what they told us, what kind of blank check they gave us. Literally, somebody like Mukesh Ambani or Chandrasekharan and these kind of people. So it's a remarkable feeling as a scientist and professional that, okay, there is a goodwill for this. But I think that goodwill, we have to justify that goodwill to, create an ecosystem where we actually routinely start developing these. And I think the title of this theme is very important. I really request organizer to think about, organize something, discuss about that. Are we going to forever create this knowledge and keep publishing these papers? Or are those papers are actually going to be translated to something meaningful to the people who are funding you? I'm referring to taxpayers. So I think, please excuse me for what I'm trying to say, maybe in a fit of a passion, but I think this is a serious issue for us to ponder. And I think I will stop here and thank you very much for your time. And thank you, Dr.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for telling us, or rather giving us a real picture of, how the country fought with its resources against the pandemic and how impactful CSIR contribution has been. And definitely, I hope we ponder and we take some action on the hard lessons that you talked about, that we learned. We should put definitely more effort in the direction. And we also sincerely hope that we get an opportunity soon to hear from you about what you said is very close to your heart also, that how the...
which I will fight with Dr. Rajendra Prasad now.
How chemistry has, united with biology. We hope to hear you soon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Jenny?
Yes.
Before you go further, I must express my great satisfaction what Dr. Ram Vishwakarma spoke. He remembered me of his 2-3 interactions. I know everything when I speak to a person like him. So I have two reasons to appreciate me. One was my memory, and second to recognize the worthiness.
Hello.
I met him. I spoke to him on phone on 5th October 2009. Professor PB Sharma, my person, was sitting with him in Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine, Jammu. So PB Sharma is very smart. He could know that I will be happy to speak to him. He connected me, and he was director there. And that time I told, oh, this gentleman is so extremely competent. I should keep contact with him. And today you have all seen how right I was. Sir, I am so impressed from your knowledge, from your afternoon, from your obsession. And now you will have more difficulty to also help us, because we will need your advice. And so, and what you told is really very, very right. But we are very rightly told that the publication after publication, but what is the outcome? So you have dared to say it, which is truth. And therefore, we all do it. So, Dr. Rajendra Prasad,
Yes, sir.
People say when the chief guest has gone, one is a little relaxed and comfortable. Before I speak, can I tell Dr. Shilamurthy to 5-6 minutes speak, if you allow, sir?
Sure, sir.
Because, when he came to know I am going to speak, he sent me few points, because he knows I want to hear how to make India a global superpower. So, Dr. Shilamurthy, you yourself tell these points.
Thank you, Founder President. First of all, compliments to Dr. Ram Vishwakarma, as rightly pointed out by Honorable Founder President Dr. Ashok Chawan. That, not only that we compliment all your remarkable contributions in this COVID time, you and your CSIR team under the able leadership of Dr. Shekhar Mandey, but you also opened up a thought-provoking, soul-searching, introspectional aspects what every scientist, every member of the society, and every scientist and technologist of our country, including industry, should do. But that is what I appreciated part of your lecture. We in Amity, we have created, Dr. Ashok Chawan, the founder, president, and the chancellors have created this ecosystem where every research done in Amity University should culminate in product, technology, processes, or it should address a societal need, create wealth to the country. So this is the forerunner. It should be frugal so that everybody in the bottom of the pyramid, even those, they can afford the technology. It should be sustainable. So this is what I wanted to tell you, that we will be very happy to join your national mission, antiviral mission, which you have just mentioned, and also the air surveillance. Because we have already started talking about biodefense. Founder President and myself, we have given a concept note to National Security Advisor that we should now start thinking in the COVID-19 situation. We should worry about our biological wealth, human, animal, and plants. So we have given the blueprint for the country, how we should defend this in terms of diagnostic, surveillance, reconnaissance, the detoxification mechanisms, protection, containment facilities, training, the quick reaction team. We have given a whole blueprint in the biodefense area. So your lecture was actually fitting into this particular theme, which we have already started doing, and compliments to your yeoman service to India in this COVID situation. I also compliment the Society of Biological Chemists, and you have reached 90 years of age. And in this 90 years, you have rendered yeoman service to Indian scientific community. If India has reached 3rd in publication, if we have reached 7th in Nature Index, if we have reached 9th in patents, if we have reached 146, not 100, but 46 in Global Innovation Index, your society has contributed in a big way. Amity University has contributed in a big way. We have published 25,000 papers in this 15 years, and that too in Nature, Nature Medicine, Science, Lancet, New England Journal of Medicine, the Cell, the Royal Society of Chemistry. So we have published 25,000 papers have gone from here in this 3rd position of our country. Similarly, we have filed 1,610 patents. That is the score today. 1,610. And we were given the national award for this from the Ministry of Commerce this year as the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization. So we are moving in this direction, what you are telling, Dr. Vishwakarma and Dr. Rao, D.N. Rao, the President-elect of this great society. And we are proud of Dr. Our Rajendra Prasad, the President of the society, who in this term, this was I would say it's a very exciting term in which he brought many inspirational changes, transformational changes in the society's endeavors. Compliments to you, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Shekhar Mande's message and Dr. Vishwakarma's message that Atmanirbhar Bharat, our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, has been promulgating, propagating, and promoting. This is what is required. The message Dr. Vishwakarma gave is this: when we can make a missile, aircraft, radar, sonars, torpedoes, we can reach Mars orbital mission, lunar mission. Why can't we reach Atmanirbhar Bharat in the biomedical technology? This we have been telling right from when I was in DRDO. Dr. Ashok Chawan, the founder president himself, chaired one of the meetings in DRDO Bhavan, where we talked about this. This is 25 years ago that we were telling how do we reach Atmanirbhar Bharat, which we are doing now in Amity University. Our MOU between Amity and CSIR is yielding fruitful results, Dr. Vishwakarma and also Dr. Shekhar Mande, that he is very happy. The steering committee is really driving this synergy which you talked about, the consortium which you talked about, that we will be able to contribute in a big way. When you come to transforming India in Atmanirbhar Bharat for drugs, which is the focal theme, that here I would like to only take another 2-3 minutes more to say that we should graduate from generic drugs, where we are on the top, to formulate new molecules. That is where the synergy between synthetic chemist, the organic chemist, and also the biochemist and the biologist coming together as consortium, we will be able to make India as the hub of drug discovery and drug development. So this should happen, particularly in small molecules, which is very, very important for our country. And also now, when you look at Amity, I will give one important area where we are really doing this transdisciplinary research in this biologists and chemists coming together. One is the triple conjugate for cancer, which we are now looking at through the computer-aided design, in silico modeling. We have formulated a triple conjugate, which is very difficult. Dr. Vishwakarma will appreciate. How do you connect a synthetic molecule, known anti-tumor agent, with curcumin, which is a natural molecule, and then also a folate? It's very difficult to develop such a triple conjugate. We have developed it through in silico modeling, then through synthetic chemistry route. We have also been able to give the conjugation. So conjugate is ready. We did in vitro studies, in vivo studies, the biologists. So now this drug is in the preclinical safety trials for cancer. And we are attacking cancer stem cell. So why I gave this Amity example is that this synergy, right from computer scientists, in silico modeling, bioinformatics, artificial intelligence group, biologists coming together, we were able to develop such things. Then we have also been able to develop artificial intelligence-based platform for vaccine or a drug candidate detection. You can even predict the susceptibility, the adverse side effects, the adverse drug reaction, if any. We can predict it by using this Amity AI platform, which we have developed. So all these are only to convey the message that we should work together, which Dr. Mande also mentioned. Break the barriers. Come as one Indian team or one global team to develop new drugs. The mission synergy, which founder President Dr. Chawan has developed, established, and formulated here in Amity, is really bringing this synergy. Now, the final message is that if you have to achieve leadership role, which Dr. Vishwakarma also was telling, that even API we don't make here, reagents we don't make here. It's a wake-up call for us. And then we should bring disruptive technologies by convergence. Convergence technologies is the order of the day. Diagnostic, therapeutics, drug delivery, drug targeting, all this will come only when the chemists and the biologists work together. Now, I was coincidentally seeing a chemist, Dr. Ashok Chawan. Many people may not know. He is a chemistry man. He did his MSc in chemistry and then went to Germany and did chemical engineering. And so he is a chemistry. Shekhar Mande, Vishwakarma, I see biologist. So this coincidentally on the inaugural function of this particular theme in which you are looking at this convergence, we have these top leaders in education, Dr. Ashok Chawan, a chemistry man, and also the biologist, Shekhar Mande, sitting together. We should do many things. Revolutionary things should come out of the Society of Biological Chemists. And I'm sure Amity will be very, very delighted and also is very keen to contribute to the mission of the society. Once again, I congratulate all members of the SBCI on this 90th annual conference. When you reach 100th, when you reach century, we should have disruptive technologies. You should have taken India to a leadership role in this drug development and drug discovery. And that is the message I would like to give. And Amity would like to contribute to that. Thank you very much, Founder President.
Thank you, sir. So I now request our Founder President, our honorable and beloved Founder President, who is the pioneer and the founding father for the Amity Group of Educational Institutions under the aegis of the Ritman Balved Education Foundation, and to tell us a few words. And because it is with his inspiration that all of us, the Amitians, we are all contributing in our own little ways to build the Atmanirbhar Bharat. So please, sir, if you can tell us about a few words.
Rajendra Prasad, you were 1 year the president of the Society of Biological Chemists. And you told me that your tenure is going to end. I was a little concerned that you have brought so many positive things. Who would be the new president? Because he will have the reins of this society for the next 12 months. And when I heard today that Dr. D.N. Rao is the president-elect, so I was very relieved because I know about him. He is an exceptionally competent scientific administrator, a leader, and a motivator. So I think this society, my worry that what will happen is totally overcome by, I knew his name is coming, but listening him, you can know the views of a person just by listening him. And I also have seen here in the video that the vice president, Dr. Usha Vijayaraghavan was there. I don't know if some vice presidents are still here. At least I would like to greet them and salute them that they together with Rajendra Prasad ji and now D.N. Rao ji is bringing this society.
Founder President Dr. Nagaraj is there, who was the previous president, Dr. Nagaraj.
Okay. Dr. Nagaraj, can we salute you, sir, if you can come to the picture? Because previous, now and future.
Namaste, sir. I was there from beginning.
Great, great.
Sir, no, not the founder president, earlier president, about 10 years ago.
Okay. Why I'm telling it? Because when Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president of the society, I read a lot, tried to understand. This is such a powerful tool to, as our Honorable DG told, that Atmanirbhar Bharat, Vishwakarma ji told. So this society together with Amity can do so wonders. I was already thinking 2031, when we will celebrate the 100 years of that society with 50 years of my RBF. So I think we will work all these 10 years to show to the whole world the power of the Brahmastra, power of the hypersonic missile which this society has. And Dr. Navati told, I'm a man of chemistry. But now having institutions of biology, biochemistry, genetic engineering, I have also become some heart biologist because these are the areas. So I'm very proud that so many members of the society are listening and sitting. Why I'm talking about Rajendra Prasad, keep a synergy between them. Involve them in very meetings and make a synergy group of biological society and Amity, make a synergy group so that we are I will not say compelled, but we have always interest to meet them. There are so many worthy peoples in this membership of this society. So I think this, our PB Sharma ji will facilitate this, our Chancellor will facilitate this, because I'm sure that this society and we, BCI and Amity can do a lot of things together. I also appreciate my students, my faculty members, my researchers, my PhD scholars, and also Ramanujam Fellows, DST Inspire Fellows, which we have a lot in number, more than 35, 40 with me. And they are all, most of them are listening this. And those who could not listen them, I will show this video of this program to thousands of my people. I've got a, Dr. Nodi, what is a Thunder Force? That Amity Scientific Thunder Force.
Amity Science and Technology Thunder Force.
There are 2,000 members, young, bright in that. And we will show them this video because there is so much to take out of that. And as you know, after COVID, one day, I must tell you, a minister was there, Jitendra Prasad ji was in our campus. And I told, sir, he told, COVID, medical COVID will go. But Chauhan's COVID, because I told, Chauhan's COVID create opportunities via motivational determination. It will remain. So this has become clear today. What Vishwakarma ji told, what Shekhar Mande ji told, what D.N. Rao ji told, that COVID will win one day. Our scientists are so brilliant. I want to say to all listeners, 28 years in West Germany, in the unification of East and West in 89-90, whole world was trying to grab the industrial houses in East Germany. Whole Japanese, Americans, Jews, Russians, everybody was trying to grab. Why I'm telling it? Because there is no comparison of Indian brain. That is why I'm telling it. I became the biggest investor in East Germany by procuring 8 big industrial houses with 6,000 German force. Those were saluting me. Many people will not believe because they can't believe that a German, 6,000 German and European will salute an Indian. And that is why I want to send to all my students, faculty members and researchers and PhD fellows that we are unmatched. 4 things are required to be global superpower, which is my mission of life. You need economic power, you need military power, you need law and order, and most important, you need the human resource power. Can anybody tell me? All these mighty countries might be better in the military power, might be better economic power, might be better in other powers, but human resource power. When we develop with the society and CSIR, as Shekhar Mandaji told, when we develop our scientific, innovative, academic power, I think, can anybody supersede us? No. So I think with this aim, I always tell my people that our mission is to make India a global superpower. And I believe it because I've seen it. I've not heard the TED speakers. I've not read the books, but I have seen that how Indians can do, because I know the brains of all foreigners, but I know the brains of my people, what I've seen today. And all these members, Mr. Ashok Chawan is there, a Wharton product, my son, he's a great support. And Abhayji, I'm glad that, this is the sanskars and values. Asim ji ko dekha, Abhay ji ko dekha, agar aadmi ne apne life mein bachcho ko sanskars or values de di, this is richer than any billionaire in the world. Abhay, thank you very much. Rajiv ji, 1 minute mein aap 4B bata do. 1 minute mein 4B kya hai aapka? Rajiv ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Brought him from DST.
So, and thanks again for coming to this forum. I'm sure we will all get help in our mission B4 from the eminent participants.
Right.
This is bring bright and brilliant brains to India. And Amity is of course, we are trying our best. In fact, as founder president was mentioning, we have interviewed, for example, last week 48 candidates. Dr. Selva Murthy was chairing the session, and then our various VCs were also involved. And we had almost 7 days and 8 hours into 2. So more than 100 hours actually we have really devoted for that purpose. Thank you very much, sir.
I must tell Dr. Shekhar Pandey was last year in the annual meeting of CSROI, Scientific Research Opportunity in India, and he delivered a lecture there telling what opportunities are India, what India offers, the career progression. And his lecture was so impressive that 55 people immediately applied to Amity. We want to join Amity, come back to India. This was the force of Shekhar Pandey's presentation there. I think he's heading the CSIR, DSIR also. So we are so proud that Dr. Rajendra Prasad, I told him, would you win him for so long a time? He told, yes, I will make him ready to come to us. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, I spoke about the Vice President, Usha Vijayaraghavanji. I don't know, Dr. Rajan Shankar Narayan is there, but I greet them. Also, Dr. Madhu Dikshitji there, Vice President, and also his Secretary, Dr. Utpal Nath, and other colleagues, and Dr. Subbarao, to whom I know long years, I have met him many times, a great scientist, a great leader. So if they are listening my voice, I really, from depth of my heart, congratulate them and compliment them for being part of this responsible part of this society. And I think Dr. D.N. Rao Saab, हम आपको एक दिन अलग बुलाएंगे. We'll call you separately to listen your views with Rajendra Prasad. Rajendra Prasad, you are incorrigible, unbelievable.
So thank you, sir. Thank you.
Under the leadership of Dr. PB Sharma, who is a great technocrat, and he was the founder director of the Delhi University, Delhi Engineering University, Engineering College, and
Delhi College of Engineering.
Delhi College of Engineering, and then Vice Chancellor of Delhi University of Technology, and great leader. I think Padmakali is there as our Pro Vice Chancellor. Yes, our Vikas Madhukar is there. So I think I'm glad that you could see we can learn better with each other. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, now together with D.N. Raoji, you have to show that never is synergy between Amity and the Society for BCI, Biological Society of India, came together. That is my request to you all those members who are sitting, please help, guide, advise us. Ram Vishwakarma ji, I think my son Atul Chauhan always says, he's the president, together we can win the world. And also, I don't know if Professor A. Chakravarti is listening it. I brought him from CSIR, you all know him. Professor Chakravarti, is he there?
Yes, he's there.
Yeah, 1 minute में नमस्ते कर दो सबको. चक्रवर्ती जी.
नमस्कार सर. Especially Dr. Ram Vishwakarma. How are you, sir?
इन्होंने आते ही छक्के मारने शुरू कर दिए हमारे यहाँ. आते ही he started hitting sixers. So I think I know the quality of the leadership of शेखर मांडे जी. जब इन्होंने शेखर मांडे जी को कहा मैं चौहान के यहाँ जा रहा हूँ, मुझे खबर मिली है. उन्होंने कहा वेरी गुड, पर यार वहाँ काम बहुत लेते हैं. मैंने कहा व्हाट अ बिग कॉम्प्लीमेंट. What a big compliment if people know me as a person who takes work. That is why it gives me the power to transform the country. Sorry, sir. Somebody told me about this. No. And this is right. So I would say, I will not say much. Everybody has said, my son Asim Chauhan spoke, and we are so proud. He's such a great leader, Chancellor of University of Haryana. My request, keep contact. Any vice president is there that we can at least salute? Any vice president?
Usha, are you there? I think Usha is, she was there, but she's our vice president. She's not responding.
Dr. Rajan Ho, Dr. Madhuji.
Dr. Utpal is there.
Dr. Utpal Nath.
Utpal, are you there?
Utpal Nath ji, of secretary, very important.
No, he's also not there.
It has overshot. Abhay, 2 words from you, sir. The water alumnus, Abhay Saab.
Thank you, founder. It was a great honor to attend the inaugural of SBCI's 90th annual meeting. And as founder said, it is very exciting to think about that in 10 years, it will reach a century and what great things it will achieve and how Amity also will help further the mission and further the mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we look forward to the next 3 days to hear many more insights. Thank you, founder.
So, Ujjayini, I have done my job.
Thank you, sir.
And I only express my exuberance to be present here, Ajay Prasad and D.N. Rao Saab. I'm so happy. You can see from my wording, from my excitement, from my enthusiasm, that these two bodies are capable of changing the world in the area of science and innovation, and the multilateral, bilateral collaborations. I've got MOUs with 450 universities all over the world, because I want that Indian brain and the foreign brain combines to have the best of the West and best of the East. This is what I have learned, and with your help, I am more motivated to do it. Asimji is a great leader. Asimji will do it. Dr. PB Sharma, I congratulate you that in your campus, this Mahayaj has taken place. Mahayaj. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for showing us the future roadmap.
Jenny, before you say,
yeah.
I would particularly thank Ram for hanging on for so long. Although I know he's too busy, but he's very humble and is not going out. But thank you, Ram, really, to stand out with us. Thank you. Go ahead.
I think we'll also wind up now. So I invite our colleague and organizing secretary for the 90th SBCI annual meeting, Dr. Machiavelli Singh, for the concluding remarks and a vote of thanks.
Dr. Utpal Nathish, is he joining? If he can say a word.
Utpal, are you there? No, he's not.
I don't think he's there.
No, he's not there.
His name was there. Okay, anyhow. Good.
Sir, may I start?
Yeah,
yes.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Wait. Utpal. Utpal, you are muted. Say hello. Utpal, unmute yourself. You always have audio problem. Yes.
In between, I could not hear. So I think our internet is not.
Our honorable founder president would like to say hello to you, sir.
Hello,
sir. Very, very important role in the society as a secretary.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it, learning and enjoying. Yeah, and it has been unusual because of the COVID. So otherwise, you will be seeing each other in person.
I think now you have a very worthy President D.N. Rao Saab. He's an unassuming, great person. I know him. The society should be very fortunate to have him after Rajendra Prasad, him as your president.
Absolutely agree. I really enjoyed working with RP, and DN is a great colleague to work with as well.
Prasad is very wise. He has agreed with my viewpoint. Rightly so. It is your wisdom, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
DN.
Hi.
Not saying anything.
Hi.
He's 250 miles away from you, kilometers.
Yes.
Oh, he's gone there. Yeah, he was there.
I'm in Chalikaria.
Yeah. He's in the other campus.
Yeah, no, I know, but he was a couple of days ago. He was here. We met in a meeting.
Okay.
Dr. Utpalji, whenever you are in Delhi next, please do visit us, our Haryana campus, Noida campus. We would like to show you around.
Absolutely. I have actually visited one of the campuses.
Which one is that?
Yeah, I think it is Noida.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I have a colleague of mine who is there.
So that is my complaint, that everybody goes to Noida.
That is long ago. I don't know that this campus.
Yeah, now you will see many things, new things. Please do come. We'll be delighted to show you around. Grateful.
Dr. Ram Vishwakarma.
Yes.
Shabri Ghoshal was his postdoc fellow. Shabri, who in our biotechnology.
Yes, yes.
He was, if I remember correctly, postdoc with him. Vishwakarma.
Dr. Ram. So we had one of your student as our faculty.
You must be remembering Vishwakarma ji. Good. Thank you.
Dr. Machiavelli, go ahead with the vote of thanks. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I would like to start the inaugural of session with these lines by our former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I quote, "Dream, dream, dream. Dreams transform into thoughts and thoughts result in actions." So this is the inspiring thought which is synergizing the today's high impacted and the very motivated speeches and the transparent picture presented by our distinguished guests and scientists. Respected Chief Guest Dr. Shekhar C. Mande, Director General CSIR, Guest of Honor Dr. Ram Vishkarma, Advisor CSIR and Chairman COVID Strategy Group of CSIR. Distinguished Guest Dr. D.N. Rao, President-Elect SBCI. Honorable Founder President Sir RBF Dr. Ashok K. Chawan, Honorable Chancellor Amity University Haryana Dr. Aseem K. Chawan, and Honorable Vice President Amity Online Mr. Abhay Chauhan, respected Vice Chancellor Amity University Haryana Professor PB Sharma, Deputy Vice Chancellor Amity University Haryana Major General B.S. Sahab, and Pro Vice Chancellor Amity University Haryana Professor Padmakali Banerjee, President SBCI Dean Faculty of Science Engineering Technology Amity University Haryana Professor Rajendra Prasad, President STIF Dr. W. Salvamurthy, Chairman Board of Governors RBEF Professor Ajit Nagpal, Director General Amity Science Technology Innovation Alliances Dr. Rajiv Sharma, and our Deputy Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Vikas Madhukar, and along the presence of eminent guests and our dignitaries, Professor A. Chakrabarti from Amity University, and our distinguished scientist, Dr. Usha Vijay Raghavan, Vice President, SBCI, Professor V. Nagaraja from ISC Bangalore, and Professor Uthal Nath from Secretary, SBCI. So it's a great honor for me to propose a vote of thanks on the inaugural session of 90th Annual Meeting of Society of Biological Chemists of India with the theme Metabolism to Drug Discovery, where chemistry and biology unite. We are grateful to our Chief Guest, Dr. Shekhar C. Mande, Director General CSR, for enlightening us on the CSIR unities for new Atmanirbhar Bharat. Sir, we are profoundly gratified by your involvement and remarkable address, and your insights have enhanced the knowledge of everyone present by sharing the timeline of COVID-19 and the realistic picture of pandemic and up to the long-lasting endemic disease. And you have beautifully shared by heart principal lessons learned from the COVID-19 with examples. And you have shared the science behind the COVID-19. Sir, this is really a best part from you as a science that we have learned a lot, and this will lead the young generations and the researcher and the scientists to get motivated and to keep ready for fight in this battle of COVID-19. And thank you, sir. It is a great honor for me to convey our heartfelt thanks to guest of honor, Dr. Ram Vishkarma, Advisor CSIR and Chairman COVID Strategy Group of CSIR, for sparing his precious time to be here with us. Sir, it has been an honor and source of pride for all participants to hear from you on a special lecture on COVID mitigation strategies. And you have beautifully presented a transparent view by how the whole science force of the country has covered this battle, and still we are coming by the new technologies. And the more inspiring is that you have shared the latest innovations like makeshift hospitals, ventilators, and CSIR UV technology, which is definitely inspiring the young generation to come forward and contribute in the Atmanirbhar Bharat. And I am really grateful to you, sir, for your presence in this inaugural session of COVID-19. I would like to express my appreciation to our distinguished guest, Dr. D.N. Rao, President-Elect SBCI, for taking his time to address and imparting high valuable insight and sharing the vision and mission for 2022 SBCI with coming with the professional skilling in the scientific arena. Thank you, sir, for gracing us with the presence and for expressing your thoughts with all of us. Now, I owe a huge debt of gratitude to our father figure, founder president, Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chawan ji, who is known for his passion for research and innovation. I appreciate his consistent support, prudent advice, and creation of a stimulating environment for such educational advancements. All our endeavors have been inspired by his mystic vision and great leadership. We are constantly striving hard to help realize his dream of India becoming a knowledge superpower, and believe this would be achieved in near future. Thank you, sir, for your consistent blessings for way forward. I place on record my profound thanks and sincere gratitude to Honorable Chancellor Dr. Aseem K. Chawan for sparing his valuable time and standing as our guiding light. Sir, your dynamism, leadership, encouragement, and absolute support in all our pursuits inspire us to reach the pinnacle of success. Thank you very much, sir, for your motivation and words of wisdom, and precisely giving your advices on the precision medicine and agri-tech, and coming up with the new work on the living modified organisms. I am extending my gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Amity University Haryana, Professor PB Sharma, for his constant guidance and encouragement. Sir, your stance on next tech is life tech was indeed thought-provoking and very informative. Thank you, sir, for your intellectual inputs and opinion on the mind with yoga, and discuss about the healthy life using our old spiritual Vedas. And I also extend my warm thanks to Professor Padmakali Banerjee, our Pro Vice Chancellor, and Major General B.S. Sahag, our Deputy Vice Chancellor, and our Group Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Vikas Madhukar, for being present and grace the occasion, as well as they are our constant motivators and inspirers. And I just like to acknowledge again the all active members of the core committee of SBCI, which are present in the meeting, and they are present online. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a science meeting like this cannot happen overnight. Such program required a lot of meticulous planning and 360-degree view detailing, and this is possible only because of the presence of a master navigator, Professor Rajendra Prasad, President SBCI and convener, Dean Faculty of Engineering, Science and Technology, Director, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, Amity Institute of Integrated Sciences and Health. Many roles beyond his expression makes this meeting happen today. His dedication, hard work, relentless pursuit for research excellence is highly acknowledged not only in India but in global science community. So I would like to convey our special thanks to Professor Rajendra Prasad, which will say them with love, RP sir, for his 3 E's policy: empowering, encouraging, and excelling in all set of endeavors. Thank you very much, sir. I would like to express my thanks to SBCI members countrywide and the entire team who is working day and night to bring this event on this virtual platform. We have been fortunate to be backed by entire team of very motivated and dedicated individuals from AIB, academics, IT, admin, HR, marketing, PR, logistics, and transport at Amity University Haryana for their contribution to the effective execution of this inaugural event. I hope this event will broaden the horizon of knowledge among all the participants. Now, I would like to conclude the inaugural session of the 19th SBCI with the famous quote from the father of scientific research establishment in India, an eminent scientist, Dr. Shanti Sru Bhatnagar, once said, "Scientific and industrial research thrives best when it is applied to material benefit." Once again, thank you everyone. Have a great time. Good day. There is a special note that all are requested to join online at 9 a.m. sharp tomorrow from the online link of 19th SBCI Live.
Dr. Jenny, you did very well. Very difficult job of a master of ceremony, but you have 100 out of 100.
Thank you.
Well, I would like to say just one word before we go.
Yeah, please.
That I may not give chance again. When we conceptualized that we should have a virtual platform meeting, it was a big challenge because we have only developed into webinars during COVID period. But we did not realize that what a magnitude of problems we'll face in organizing this kind of meeting. But I must say, my colleagues who work relentlessly, continuously day and night in making this a successful exercise, and today's smooth functioning of the virtual platform gives me confidence that next 3 days will also be very professional and time-bound as we planned. And this is really wonderful. And my thanks to our COECT corporation, which is organizing this platform for us. Of course, they are charging money for it, but nonetheless, they are doing a good job. I also want to say that SBCI headquarters, we must have many exchange of mails between headquarters, particularly Utpal and their treasurer Subba. And they have really, day and night, whenever you want to have any query, they will come out with answers. Even middle of the night, WhatsApp messages will be answered. So thank you very much, all of you really back there in Bangalore. And without your help, I could not have conceived this kind of exercise. Thank you very much, all of you.
Dr. Rajendra Prasad, well begun is half done. So everything will go well. You have begun so well, the inaugural function is so well. And congratulations, Dr. Rao, and best wishes for you to function as the president, next president.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is such a pleasure.
Biology should meet chemistry very soon, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So good night, all of you.
Thank you, Chancellor sir, for giving your time.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Rushing from me.